Let's make this X7 a Trackhawk killer. Alright, so we've got the two under trays off. Now all that's left is getting this exhaust bolt here, the two bolts on that brace right there, the V-band, and then the O2 clips and mounts. Alright, now that the downpipe is out, we just have to swap over the O2s onto the catless downpipe. But first we're going to drop some elite B58 ball knowledge. This nut sucks when you're tightening down the V-band clamp on removal or install of a downpipe. It just spins unless it's pulled tight up against this. All you gotta do, set this thing in there, tack weld it in place. It'll never give you an issue again, and it'll save you so much headache and stress the next time you have to take this off if you're doing the turbo or exhaust or anything. Tack weld the nut onto the V-band. Now, when you buy your high flow downpipe from BimmerNetwork, it does have options to get it with a new downpipe gasket, or if you're lucky and your car's low mile enough or it's in good enough shape, you can try to get this gasket out. You might run the risk of having an exhaust leak and have to fuck with it a bunch. But I will show you how to remove that the best way if you want to risk it and try reusing it. Or you can just buy your downpipe with a new one, which we'll be using. Alright, so easiest way to get this out is to first loosen it up with a hammer. This is going to be hard to do one-handed. Normally you want to hold the downpipe still. Just going to chap it around the back. Obviously you're going to hold the downpipe still, but I'm filming. If I stand on it, you can actually see the gasket. Then you just take a pick tool, grab it the rest of the way out. Now just to show you why it's worth getting a new gasket with your downpipe, we've got the used one on the right and the new one on the left. If you look, the used one is already crushed a significant amount. So you want to use a new one, that way it can seal all the way around and crush on its own with however you line up your new downpipe. To put this one in, it might not seal all the way around. So what I like to do to line up the downpipe is I get the V-band on and tight enough to where it holds the downpipe on its own, but you can still rotate it if you pull hard enough. Then you come down here and you can rotate it until the exhaust lines up. You're gonna have to finagle it to get it onto the slip yoke, but what I like to do is come back here and I'll get my hand kind of behind this one and push this way while hitting the joint right here with like a rubber hammer. And just as you're pushing and just tap, 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 it'll slide all the way up and on, and then you can tighten everything down on both sides. All right, so I went up and started the car without removing anything. Heard a rattle, came back down, realized I was barely touching right here on the flex joint to this starter cable bracket. So I had to come back down, loosen the V-band, loosen the joint here, rotate it a little bit till it didn't make contact, tighten it all down again. Now we're gonna test start again now that it's tight.